Traders, welcome back to another video here. Today started off with an uptrend working higher here with a break and a new extreme. We had some correction here that played out with a break and a new extreme for this downtrend here. So we're just kind of sitting on our hands waiting for the next market cycle to develop. We have a push above the EMA here. You actually have a first entry short pullback, second entry short failure here, but it's a bearish bar. By the time you get the double bar entry, it's quite high. So now you have this uptrend working higher that played out with a break and a new extreme. And this is just about around the time that the market opened. So we're just sitting on our hands waiting for prices to print and seeing what the next market cycle is going to be. We have a downtrend working lower here and prices push higher. So this is our first sign that it's a little bit more bullish than expected. We wouldn't have this channel here at this point. We're just kind of letting prices print and seeing what the next market cycle is going to be at this point. So we do push higher and we push higher again. And now we have some small correction. You're really expecting that there's most likely going to be some wider channel. If a good second entry long formed here, I still most likely would not pull the trigger because I really want to see another push phase to confirm that, hey, okay, this channel is in fact in play. So in this case, I'd like to see some higher low. You have a first entry long pullback, second entry long if this gets a trigger above this bar. And prices push lower here. You get the second entry long, but it of course is below the EMA. So I'm just patiently waiting, seeing if this channel in fact gets confirmed. And since we're pushing above EMA here, this gives me a little bit more confidence that, hey, this channel most likely is in play. So this is when I drew this channel here. And I'm looking for the failed second entry short above the EMA. You have, let me zoom in a little bit here so you can see a little bit better. You have a first entry short pullback, and I'm expecting the second entry short to fail and give us the failed second entry short above the EMA here to continue this bullish bias. But prices just continue to push up. By the time you get the failed second entry short, and it didn't even trigger, but it's way too far from the EMA. We really want to see it in this area. So prices push higher here. This isn't a high or low because it broke this highest high here, so you got to treat this as a first entry long with the count reset. So prices push higher, so now we're trading a bullish uptrend. So I'm just looking for that second entry long two-legged pullback at the EMA at this point. We get a first entry long, and we get a second entry long here if we get a trigger above this bar, but there's a short-term channel in play, and this second entry long, if it gets the trigger, is forming below the EMA. So the second entry long actually forms here, and we have this short-term channel working lower here, and the second entry long is a bearish bar, and two, it's below the EMA. So I really want to see a higher low in this scenario. Prices push higher, and we're correcting again. And we get a bullish bar here. Problem is we're below the EMA. This is coming off of this trend line here, which at this point I felt a little bit too wedged for my liking. I really wanted to see prices test this support level to give us that true two-legged move. It tested the support. A lot of times it could tick higher here, trap these bulls, and come lower and test this support level. So that's what I was expecting that was going to happen here. I really wanted to see the higher low above EMA to confirm this setup here. But you can see prices just push higher without offering any higher low. So the channel held, and you have that nice two-legged move here. You can see the first leg down and the second leg here, which is exactly what we look for. You know that the bearish bias depleted and the bullish bias is going to start again. So prices push higher. So once again, just like in this area, I'm looking for that two-legged pullback at the EMA. And that leads me into the next thing I like to talk about. Like there's times on this chart where the bias is real strong. And if you get the second entry long two-legged pullback at the EMA, it'd be a lot stronger than other areas. As in this area when we're just waiting. The bias isn't confirmed, the channel isn't confirmed, and you're more so just patiently waiting as an area of development. There's other areas on the chart that are a lot stronger than others, and that's our job as a trader, just to be patient and wait for everything to align and for price action to present itself with a strong high probability setup. So at this point, I'm looking for that second entry long at the EMA. We have a count reset here. First entry long. Prices push higher. Let's see if we can get the second entry long at the EMA. And prices just continue to push higher. You get the tick lower second entry long here, but it's way too far from the EMA. So we have to be patient here. And prices just continue to push higher. So this trend line is still getting confirmed. So once again, back just waiting for that two-legged pullback second entry long at the EMA. So this is a nice trend working higher here. So it looks like you got a count reset here. You got a first entry long. And the second entry long formed above this bearish bar with the short-term trend working lower. So we're patient at this point. We broke the highest high, so we've got another count reset here. And prices push lower working with the short-term trend down. We have a break and a new extreme at this point of the downtrend. And once again, we have that nice two-legged move. You can see the first leg here, break, and the second leg. So that's perfect. That's what we look for as price action traders, to see that nice two-legged pullback. That now that we know that the bears bias is depleted, and we can resume that bullish bias. So at this point, when I'm looking at this chart here, I'm expecting to see the failed second entry short above the EMA, which is a bearish trap for the second entry short, to continue prices working higher and test this new extreme, given that we have a break of this main channel. So let's see what happens next here. We actually have a first entry short here. Looks by like one tick. Prices push above the EMA, so this is good. So if we get a failed second entry short here, I would consider. And here's the second entry short forming here, and here's the failure. So this is exactly like what I was speaking about before, when everything aligns. You have the two-legged pullback, you know that the bearish bias is depleted. So you know that given that we have the break of the main channel, we expect a new extreme. So anybody selling the second entry short is expected to get trapped by the failed second entry short, because prices need a new extreme and the bearish bias is already depleted. So this failed second entry short here is a great trade to take advantage of. I took this trade live. It made you sweat a little bit here because it actually stalled a little, but then we got a volatility spike and it instantly shot higher. So we're expecting the new extreme of the uptrend, and sure enough, prices push higher and give you the new extreme of the uptrend. If you're holding a runner on this one, it actually, price action actually printed a nice runner on this one. You can just continue to hold the runner the whole time. We actually have a new high of the uptrend here, and you can see this nice move that prices developed. It would give you a nice runner if you're holding onto a runner. So at this point, when you're looking at the chart, this main uptrend here is played out with a break and a new extreme. So I'm just patient. I'm waiting to see what the next market cycle is going to be. I'm more so just sitting on my hands here. You could get a continuation since this trend was so strong. We could get a correction or potential sideways movement. So I'm just mainly sitting on my hands here and waiting to see what the next market cycle is going to be. Prices push lower here. We get a break and a new extreme. And now we have some downtrend working lower here. You get a first entry short and push down to the new extreme here. And prices start working higher at this point. So you can see at this point we have excuse me, we have this nice spike in a channel pattern working. If we zoom out here, you can see price action has this uptrend working higher, a break, a new extreme. We had this little sideways movement here. Prices pushed lower, gave you the break and the new extreme for the downtrend, and now we're working back higher. So we have this spike in a channel pattern working higher. So at this point, I'm looking for the second entry long at the EMA to test the new high of this uptrend. So let's see if we can get it here. We get a first entry long. Oops, excuse me. We get a first entry long here. And we have a break below this bar. And then we get the second entry long here. But of course, it's way too far from the EMA. So the second entry long is trapped at this point. So let's see if we can get something near the EMA. And sure enough, we get this nice bullish bar right here at the EMA. And this is technically a double trap because we got the first entry long, which got trapped. And then we got the second entry long, which got trapped, selling too far from the EMA. And now we have this double trap because those traders that are taking the failed second entry long, which we get first entry long, pullback, second entry long, failure, the traders taking this failed second entry long here are going to be trapped as well because they're selling against the trend here. So this double trap is a great setup to take a shot on. It's actually a failed breakout as well of this small congestion here. So we got two reasons to go long here. Double trap in addition to the failed breakout. The only issue I see with this trade is there is a potential of a short-term channel working lower like this. There is a potential that this is there. But I think that there's enough reasons to go long here, given that it's a failed breakout and a double trap, expecting the new high of this uptrend. So trading is about taking risk. So I think this is a decent setup to take a chance on. Let's see what happens here. So you actually would have got stopped on this trade, but once again, I think that this is a great setup to take a chance on. It ended up being that there was a short-term trend working lower here, and it trapped the double trap as well. But there was a lot of reasons to go long here, so there's no problem if you took this trade here. Failed breakout and a double trap. And prices continue to work lower here. So you get the downtrend here with a break and a new extreme, and prices are back above the EMA here. And they play it out with a small break and a new extreme. And you can see that we're getting a little bit late on the day. And that's it for the price action for today, guys. So to sum it up, we started off with a break and a new extreme that led into a nice bullish channel here. We had a break, a nice failed second entry short to the new extreme, which produced quite a nice runner if you guys are holding a runner. Had a little sideways movement at the new high that led into a downtrend working lower with a break and a new extreme that eventually led into this spike and a channel pattern here. We had a nice double trap here that ended up resulting in a trap, but that's okay. Like I said, there was definitely enough reasons for you guys to go long here if you did take that. No problem at all. Downtrend with a break and a new extreme. Then we had a nice uptrend with a small break and a new extreme to end the day. So yeah, guys, I appreciate you guys watching. If this video was helpful, please hit that like button. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. I do have a trading community where I post charts in real time and answer questions in real time as well. If that's of any interest to you guys, please feel free to check out the description below. I have a link to that there. Alrighty, well, you guys have a good evening. Thank you for watching.